The girl from the trash can I found a real daughter of a wealthy family near a trash can. I decided to raise her. The system commanded me that while raising her, I had to scold and reprimand her every single day. I had to trouble her and make her into someone with a tough, harsh nature. I agreed with cold cruelty. What's so difficult about that? Besides, I don't like children at all. 16 years later, I and her real family met at the school gate. I was wearing torn old jeans and holding 2 fried sausages in my hand. Her parents and that fake rich daughter stepped out of a luxury car. They had brought 16 gifts with them. 1 full gift for every year from age 1 all the way to 16. That man looked me up and down from head to toe. You've worked quite hard all these years. The fake rich daughter stood beside that man, nervously staring at the real daughter. Dee Dee, please don't make me leave from here. The real daughter looked at them with strange eyes and ran straight toward me. She snatched the sausage right out of my hand. Papa, you're eating that same thing again. When I first found the real daughter near the trash can, she was still only 1 month old. She was extremely weak and thin. Even her voice was as faint as a dying kitten's cry. But the moment I picked her up, she stopped crying. Her round, chubby eyes were staring straight at me, and suddenly they curved up like little crescent moons. I furrowed my brows, cleared my throat, and snapped at her with irritation. Don't think you've trapped me. I'm raising you only for the money. The system seemed somewhat surprised. So then why are you buying things for her? I quickly pulled my hand back. Ugh, I really did fall into her trap. I quickly steadied myself and maintained my principle of being a cruel father. I bought the cheapest milk powder from the shop for her, but it seemed like she didn't like it at all. Her tiny little nose scrunched up and her eyes filled with disappointment. She's so fussy. Drink it if you want. Or don't drink it. But that little baby stretched out her tiny hand and grabbed my index finger, shaking it gently. The next morning, I took on another part-time job. I bought better, easier-to-drink milk powder. This is fine, right? If she doesn't drink good milk powder, how will she grow up? And if she doesn't grow up, how will I sell her and get the money? At night, she was very quiet. I kept tossing and turning and checked her breathing every single minute. I even searched on the internet whether it was normal for a newborn to cry so little. On the 6th time I checked, she woke up. What are you doing? I was just checking whether you had died or something. When that tiny little baby had grown into a healthy 3-year-old, I finally got the chance to show my cruelty. From today, I will squeeze this child's chubby cheeks like a devil. You'll have to tie your own shoelaces yourself. Perhaps because of her genes, the real daughter was very smart. She quickly learned to tie shoelaces, to sleep on her own, to eat on her own. She even learned to wash her own socks. What kind of oppression is this? You won't understand. My plan has only just begun. Next, I'll teach her to clean the floor, cook food, do heavy and dirty work. I'll turn her into my servant. This path is correct, but what I hadn't anticipated was that the real daughter was extremely obedient. Whatever I said, she would do. But as the strictest father, I would not allow her a single mistake. So when she knocked over the mopping bucket, I crossed my arms on my chest and scolded her sharply. You're so stupid! Later, when your real parents see you, what will they do but hate you? Tears filled the little girl's eyes, and she ran crying into her room. I quickly went after her and pressed my ear against the door to listen. Inside, the sound of crying was slowly fading. My heart was burning like fire. Now what do I do? What if she's fainted? Does she really need to be this dramatic? You're right. I'll wait 5 more minutes, 4 minutes. Just 4. 1 minute is enough. Forget it. I went straight inside. When I walked in, the real daughter was lying across the table, drawing. I hugged her and made an excuse, saying, Just now I only said that. You're so lovely. Your parents will never hate you. Papa, there are 2 people in my painting. 1 big and 1 small. I don't need anyone else. I only want you. I went silent. Papa, don't cry. I'm not crying. Later, I realized that this style of scolding didn't work on her. Instead, it ended up making me cry every single time. So I changed my method. I bought a study book and started forcefully teaching her to read. What new drama is this? You won't understand. I'll crush her through studies. On the first day, I taught her you, I. On the second day, I taught love, hate, like, dislike, I love you. By the third day, she was chasing after me like a little chick. yelling at the top of her lungs, "I love you! I love you! I love you!" I turned red with embarrassment, screamed, and threw the book down. Ugh, this isn't working either. Before she could start primary school, I had to get her birth certificate made. It was only then that I realized I hadn't given her a name yet. I had only ever called her little baby. This was an important moment. You should give her a name she'll never forget for the rest of her life, one that gives her pain and torment. Let's name her something like Chiadi's maidservant. This name will burn her. I thought about it the whole night. The next day, I confidently went and got her registered. I took your advice. I gave her a name she won't like. Oh, wonderful, so you finally understood. From now on, your name is Luchwu. Rainy days. I laughed with pride. The little baby hates rainy days. I named her after rain itself. She'll go crazy with anger. Papa, thank you. You gave me your own surname. Something seems off. After primary school, I commanded her to work very hard. Lucha became innocently quiet. She no longer said, "Papa, I love you," every waking moment. When she came home, she would do her work. Do her homework and fix my bed before sleeping. Look, our daughter has grown distant. That means my cruel father plan is working correctly, but I still couldn't stop myself from secretly peeking into her room. The next day, on her way home from school, she came back carrying 2 sausages she'd bought. "Where did you get money from? Didn't you put it in my bag yourself, Papa?" "Oh, I just forgot about that by mistake." "So did you also forget by mistake the day before yesterday? And last week? And last month too? And besides, this is all junk food. Who gave you permission to eat this?" I looked at her hopeful eyes and ate all the sausages in 2 bites. 2 hours later, when I got home, I carried a plate of fried sausages I had made myself into her room. "See, this is what you call healthy food." Luchawu said nothing, but her eyes lit up bright. She cleared the entire plate. "Why are you doing this?" "What would you know?" "I'm just testing whether it's poisoned." I left that place feeling very satisfied. Luchwu was very smart. She almost always got perfect marks. But in the final exam of 3rd grade, she only got 98 in English. How could you be so careless? Why were those 2 marks cut? "Sorry, Papa. I'll be more careful next time." Luch bowed her head and quietly went to her room. "Papa, this attitude is good." Before the system even finished speaking, I was already secretly crying while watching her back. "Oh God, what have I done?" "You didn't do anything." A few minutes later, Luchwu went to the kitchen to cook. She saw me sitting in the corner crying, and I immediately stood up and wiped my face. "Papa, you're crying again?" "I'm not crying. The smoke from the cooking is irritating my eyes." "Papa, next time I'll get full marks." "What do you know?" "I know that you love me very much." My whole body stiffened. I slowly held her shoulder. "Didn't you want to scold her?" "Shut your mouth." This is called fake ignorance, acting tame to feed the tiger. When she fully trusts me, I'll give her very deep pain. But even after waiting so very long, that opportunity never came. Instead, I watched Luchwu come home one day crying. I hadn't seen her cry in a very long time. She came home and collapsed across the table. "Little one, what happened? Tell me. Did someone bother you?" I started pacing with worry. After much coaxing, she told me through her tears. "They're saying I'm not your real daughter." "Oh, is that all?" I breathed a sigh of relief. "Yes. You were found near a trash can." Luch was stunned. "Really?" "Yes," I said it with complete ease. I used to tell her often that she'd been found near a trash can, but she didn't know it was actually true. She was about to cry again. "So what?" Luchawu's mind stopped working. "She forgot to cry. Am I not good to you? Have I not raised you all these years?" "Yes. If you're not my biological daughter, does that change anything about the present?" Luchawu tried to think for a long time. "No. Then everything is fine, isn't it?" This was a problem that could have given a real emotional wound to the real rich daughter. Never mind. I have my own way. The next day, Luchwu went to school. Those rude boys made fun of her again, calling her a trash can baby. So what? "Lucy, why are your clothes so dirty? Don't your parents even wash your clothes? They definitely don't love you. Chudai, you always fail, and your parents don't even care. They definitely have no expectations from you. Songao, you eat junk food every day, and your parents don't stop you. They definitely don't care about your health. The three children looked at each other and turned red. You're a trash can baby anyway. So what? My papa loves me very much. What do I have to be afraid of? My days with Luchwu passed like this, and she continued performing brilliantly. She got admission into the best middle school in the city, then high school. I happily took her to move into a house near school. Luchwu knew the rent was very expensive, so she offered to give private tutoring on the side. I panicked again. No, absolutely not. Why, Papa? Tutoring will ruin your studies. If you don't get into a good college, how will you earn money to take care of me? You're right. I breathed a sigh of relief. I was afraid she'd actually agree and quit studying to work for me. Papa can keep taking care of you for a few more years. It's fine. This is called long-term investment. Luchwu laughed. Thank you. Papa. I pulled out a new school bag and gave it to her. I found this on the way. Papa, my old bag can still be used. I said use it, then use it. Why are you arguing so much? Luchwu smiled and took the bag. Before leaving for school, she poked her head out the door. Papa, I want to eat sausages. Fine. That night, I quickly went to the school gate with sausages to wait for her. Just then, a luxury car that looked very expensive from a distance stopped in front of the gate. Among the staring, envious eyes of the parents gathered in the crowd, 4 people stepped out. In front were a husband and wife, looking very refined and draped in jewelry. The other 2 were a brother and sister. The younger sister was clutching the corner of her brother's clothes and looked extremely nervous, while the brother was staring around with eyes full of contempt, as if he deeply hated standing among people like us. The system, which had been quiet for a long time, suddenly spoke. That family has come to take back their real daughter. I froze in place. The system had said that when I raised Luchwu to 16 years old, her real parents would come to take her. But I hadn't imagined this day would come so quickly. My instinct was to step forward. But I looked at myself. I was wearing sandals, a 30-rupee t-shirt. My hair was a mess, and I was holding fried sausages. I was completely different from Luchwu's family. I bit my lips and stayed right where I was. 5 minutes later, school was dismissed. Luchwu was walking at the very front. She had tied her hair up in a high ponytail and her arms looked strong. It seemed like she wanted to share some good news with me. Her eyes were shining and she was searching for me. She knew I'd be at the gate, but I hid myself in the crowd. Before Luch could find me, it happened. The family spotted her. They had already done their research. Ms. Hua stepped forward with tears in her eyes. Anna, is that you? I'm sorry. You've mistaken me for someone else. Mr. Hua followed close behind. I am Hua Jiming, the owner of the Hua Group. Your name is Hua An. You are our real daughter. We've come today to take you home. The people around gathered to watch. Lucha took a deep breath and stepped back. What is this? Is there some prank show running on the street? I need to go home right now and cook for my papa. Can you take someone else instead? Ms. Hua took a cold breath as if she'd heard something terrible. You have to cook at home? My daughter. How much suffering you must have endured all these years. Luchwu, who had been polite before, went stone-faced at those words. Before she could say anything, that fake rich daughter, who looked every bit the princess, stepped forward. She bent before Luchwu in tears. I'm sorry. All these years I took your place. But our parents have raised me all this time. I don't want to leave them. Can you not make me leave from here? If you don't drive me away, I'll stay as your servant. Everyone knew Luchwu was the real daughter who'd been lost for 16 years. And yet their very first meeting was this terrible. Whatever the situation, making the fake daughter cry and beg for forgiveness in front of everyone, at a school gate packed with people coming and going, they had clearly not thought about Luchwu at all. The system sensed my state of fury and reminded me, don't go there. Wait for her to come home. You'll get your money. I clenched my hands into fists and swallowed my anger. Just then I heard another voice. What a touching story. Minzhao, you don't need to lower yourself like this. That boy placed a sympathetic hand on Hua Minzhao's, the fake daughter's, shoulder, then blocked Luchwu's path. Will you really treat your own family like this? I thought he was trying to use his intimidating presence to crush Luchwu. But all the nourishment Luchwu had received over these years had made her grow to match that boy's height. The person in front of her could only try to pressure her with his arrogance. Our parents have been searching for you for years. Do you have even a shred of conscience or character? Minchao is crying and apologizing and you're giving no reaction. Are you made of stone? Luchwu could bear it no longer. She took a deep breath and called out toward the security guard. Uncle Guard, someone is bothering me. Luchwu's character was wonderful, and she was top of her class. Whether teachers, classmates, or canteen staff, even the security guards loved her dearly. The moment she called out, the guard who had been standing there watching the scene grabbed his iron rod and came running. Back off! Back off quickly! The Hua family people, raised in comfort and luxury, had never seen anything like this. They made excuses in a fluster and backed away. Taking advantage of the chaos, Luchwu slipped through them. She quickly searched for me in the crowd and found me. Like a small, lively sparrow, she came bounding toward me, jumping and leaping. Seeing the sausages in my hand, she pulled a face. Nonsense. I made this myself. Luchwu narrowed her eyes and examined the sausages carefully. No, this was bought outside. Papa's fried sausages always get a little burnt on one side. Keep your voice down. There's nothing to be proud of here. So this junk food wasn't saved for me? Thank you, Papa. I took her hand and walked quickly toward home without once looking back. I couldn't bring myself to turn around because I felt that if I did, the Hua family would come following behind. On the way, I asked how school had gone. I was very happy today. On parent-teacher meeting day, I have a surprise for you. She paused and looked a little troubled. But when I was leaving school, I met some strange people at the gate, insisting that my name is Hua An. I've heard of the Hua group, but how could I be their daughter? My heart tightened. I hesitantly asked, what if you really are their daughter? Luchwu suddenly stopped. Between my tension and nervousness, she answered very seriously. If they really are my family, then I'll definitely get them admitted to a good psychiatric hospital. I burst out laughing. A little while later, I still couldn't help myself. But they're very rich. Luchwu nodded gravely. Yes, exactly. That's why I'll take them for treatment first, and then donate all their money to people who need it. If their mental state is like this, how will they know how to spend money properly? Better that someone else spends it on their behalf. I completely agreed and nodded. Good daughter. You are very wise. Luchwu smiled. That's the result of your teachings. Papa. We both came home laughing and talking. But dinner had only just been made when those uninvited guests knocked on our door. Without even needing to think, I understood it was the Hua family who had arrived. I knew this day would come eventually. I was just about to get up when Luchwu stood first and said, Papa? Let me open the door. All 4 members of the Hua family were standing in a line at the door. Mr. Hua was afraid she'd slam it shut in their faces, so he quickly pulled out her birth certificate and grabbed her hand, weeping. Anan, what happened just now was a misunderstanding. I am truly your real mother. Luchwu turned to look at me. I turned my gaze away. Fine. Come inside and talk. Luchwu lowered her eyes and stepped aside to let them through. After that strange scene at the school gate, their behavior had calmed down somewhat. This is your brother, Hua Lintian, 3 years older than you. And this is Hua Minchao. That year, a nurse at the hospital switched you two. She stole our child and abandoned you. We recently found out that Minchao is not our biological daughter, so we immediately began investigating. It was only yesterday that we received news of you. Ms. Hua looked around at the home's decor, and her voice carried unmistakable contempt. How can anyone live in a place like this? Luchwu's face hardened. Why not? In Luchwu's eyes, this home was a place we had decorated together, inch by inch. In summer, we sat in front of the old AC eating watermelon. In winter, we sat on the old sofa holding warm water bottles, watching TV. Anna, why are you speaking like this? Hua Jiming's patience was running out, especially after Luchwu had spoken rudely to a father figure for the 2nd time. So ill-mannered. So unrefined? Nothing at all like the Hua family. He slapped the table and glared at Luchwu. That's enough. Come home with us right now. Hua Minchao quickly reached over and patted Hua Jiming's back. Papa, don't be angry. At least give her a little time to pack her things. What in this junk heap is even worth packing? Hua Minchao turned to Luchwu with a gentle tone. Didi, apologize to Papa. His heart is fragile. Don't upset him. Mama and Papa want to take you home. We prepared so many gifts for you. Clothes, jewelry. I chose them all myself. Hua Lintian added his voice too. Mama, Papa, and Minchao put so much effort into your 16th birthday. Now it all seems wasted. Luchwu pursed her lips and gave a mocking laugh. I don't feel I'm missing anything here. This isn't for you to decide. You are blood of the Hua family. You cannot live outside. If the Hua family can raise Minchao, it can raise you too. Finally, they turned toward me. Hua Jiming said in a threatening tone, We won't harm you. Ms. Hua reached into her bag and pulled out a card, sliding it across the table toward me. This is your reward. They stared at her. Hua Jiming asked, Did that man named Lu teach you that? Chiwu nodded without hesitation. Yes. Uncle Lu may have chased money, but he taught me many good lessons. It's because of him that I've become a good daughter to you today. I've left the past behind. I hope brother and sister will do the same. The husband and wife looked at each other. Their eyes held admiration for Chawu. I sat on the other side watching, crying quietly. You're crying from hearing her praised? The system asked. I shook my head. I didn't need to explain it to the system. Over the following days, Luchwu learned the intricacies of business remarkably fast. Even projects that Lintian couldn't manage, she resolved effortlessly. Her standing within the Hua family began rising like waves, higher and higher. A month later, Ms. Hua fell ill and needed blood. Luchwu donated without a moment's hesitation. I was suffering on my end. I'd bought all kinds of nutritious things but had no excuse to send them. Just then a quarrel erupted at the hospital. Lintian had ruined a major business deal. Mr. Hua turned on him directly and shouted, What have I been teaching you all these years? You're nothing compared to Anan. Luchwu stepped in. Papa, please calm down. If brother can't manage it, let me try. This was like pouring oil on a fire. Lintian screamed, Don't think you're so clever. You're just a blood bank. If Mama hadn't gotten sick, why would we have brought you back home? Silence fell over the room. Mr. and Ms. Hua were frightened. Luchwu bowed her head and began to cry. Mr. Hua grabbed her hand. Don't listen to what he said. We would never think of you as just a blood bank. Ms. Hua also began to explain herself. But when their eyes fell on Chuwu's expression, they went quiet. Then something happened that no one had expected. Luchwu took Ms. Hua's hand and opened her palm. In it lay a small charm of peace. Her voice was very soft, but it touched the heart directly. Mama, you don't need to lie to me. Even if you only think of me as your blood reserve, I'm still willing to give you my blood. Simply because you are my mother. Ms. Hua was stunned. She pulled Chuwu into her arms and wept brokenly. Mr. Hua began wiping his own eyes. I was watching from the other side, astonished. Host, this scene is so emotional. Why aren't you crying? I rubbed my eyes. I couldn't cry because I recognized that charm. That charm was one that Chuwu and I had ordered in bulk from the internet 2 years earlier. 9 yuan for 10 pieces. After this, Luchwu's standing in the Hua family grew even stronger. Mr. Hua handed over the entire business to her. Seeing her so happy brought me peace. It was just that the house felt empty. Soon it was the end of school. When I received the message about the parent-teacher meeting, I remembered what Chayu had said on the day the Hua family came. On the meeting day, I have a surprise for you. I arrived at school with anticipation. The teacher gave me a time capsule that the students had buried at the beginning of the year. Inside was a letter in Luchwu's own handwriting. Papa, I have a secret. I know you are somehow different. For the past several years, I've been able to hear you talking to another voice, the system. I never told you because you always secretly praised me in your heart. I loved hearing that. I don't care who my real family is. I know you would never leave me, but recently I felt like someone was following me. Perhaps I won't be able to stay with you for much longer, but trust me, I will find my own path. Just like the way you found me near that trash can, I was left speechless. She had known all along. Just then, the news came on television. The Hua family was in financial crisis. and their 16-year-old daughter had turned the tide. I understood. She had gone so she could carve her own path. And now she was free. Then my phone rang. "Papa, I want to come home. Can you come pick me up?" I grabbed my electric scooter and rode straight toward the villa. On the road, I was laughing and crying at the same time. Even the system gave me green lights at every traffic signal today. From a distance, I saw Lu Wu standing with her suitcase. Behind her, Mr. and Ms. Hua were trying to stop her. "Ann, if you leave, what will become of us?" Mr. Hua's eyes were red and swollen. By now, he knew that Chu held complete control over the entire company. He was pleading desperately. Ms. Hua grabbed her hand. "Daughter, I don't need your blood. Just stay with me." Lu Wu saw me and her eyes lit up. I pushed through the crowd and reached her and took her hand. "Stop!" Mr. Hua shouted. "She is my daughter." "You cannot take her." I paused and turned to face them. "She is your daughter. So tell me, where did you lose her?" "In the trash can behind the hospital alley." "Was it a recycling trash can or an ordinary one?" Mr. Hua was startled. "Perhaps recycling." I held Chawu's hand firmly. "Then she is not yours, because 16 years ago I found her discarded near that trash can like garbage, in a dying state. I was the one who brought her to the hospital. The doctor said she had a rare illness. The chances of survival were very low. But after that, I raised that child, and she survived and lived. This diamond had already been cleaned of every bit of dust and grime. Now, everyone could see her brilliance and radiance. Even the very person who had once discarded her came searching for her. But I always knew she is no one's property. Even though it was I who saved her in the beginning, I will not set her into any jewelry and lock her in place. She must shine freely on her own terms. Chu and I came home. I had bought back that small house. The creaking sound of the living room floor had been repaired. The walls had been repainted. But I had not touched Chawu's room at all. Everything was exactly as she had left it before she went. "Can this body hear the conversations between Papa and the system?" Lu Wu nodded. My face turned red with embarrassment. "So does that mean that for all these past years, you could hear every single thought I had?" Lu Wu began to laugh. "It was only for the last few years that I could hear these voices. When you were very emotional, I could hear clearly. Especially that day when the Hua family came to take me back. I heard everything. All of Papa's struggle and pain. The system's logic was correct. But it was wrong about one thing. Even though I'm only 16, I know what money and power are worth. And precisely because I know that, I will never let them become a barrier between you and me." I held Lu Wu tightly in my arms. My daughter turned out to be even wiser than I ever imagined. My child is the finest human being in the entire world. Afterwards, Lu Wu enrolled in the country's best finance program. I also rented a house near the college. She studied during the day and managed the company at night. The Hua family became completely quiet. Sometime later, Ms. Hua fell ill again. But this time she didn't ask Lu Wu for blood. She only wanted to see her once. Dying people's words are often soft. She just stared at Lu Wu. "If I had known you'd become this successful, I would have never let you go." "I thought you wouldn't even survive." "Do you hate me?" Lu Wu shook her head. "Papa gave me life and brought me to you." "That is enough." The woman breathed a sigh of relief. "Chu, this name truly is perfect for you." After graduation, Chu elevated the Hua family business to great heights. But when the company was at its peak, she donated half the assets to charity. She smiled and told me, "We couldn't spend all this money in one lifetime anyway, so why not help others?" In our free time, we traveled the world together. When she was busy, she worked at the company, and I sold sausages at a stall below her office building. 2 rupees apiece. I never cheated children. Every day I saved 1 sausage for her. On the way home, we talked and ate. Sometimes I thought about that system. After all, it had watched Chu grow up for 16 years. But after Chawu came home, that system disappeared. A few years later, the system suddenly appeared in my dream. "Transfer some money to this account number." "Have you started committing fraud? This is all your fault. You and Chu changed my system's source code. I can't stop myself. I've been paired with an orphanage director. The orphanage has run out of money and the children are waiting to eat." I asked in astonishment, How did Chu and I change your code? The system stumbled over its words. After much pressing, it finally told me its operating rules. The last rule, it said, had appeared suddenly out of nowhere. Rule 1. The protagonist must grow according to the story's script. Rule 2. No action can be taken outside the plot. Rule 3. When the feeling of love arises, the above rules no longer matter. Because love holds the highest priority, nothing surpasses it. End.